I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about something that recently happened. Uh, I was talking to a guy. Oliver, what's up, Oliver? How's it going, man? But I was talking to a guy, and he told me this story about an author who had decided to go back to school and ended up in a class that was focused on a book that she had written. Dog Karma, what's up? Good morning. Glad to see you here. Um, and the guy was telling me this story about how this author had gone back to school and she's sitting there in a class and they start reading the book she had written. And in the final test and shit, they were asking questions like, what did the author mean by this? And what do you think the author meant by this? And stuff like that, right? What was the author trying to express here? And she knew exactly what the hell, she meant by everything because she wrote the damn book. The guy's telling me the story. And, but she failed the class. And even afterward, when she explained to the teacher that she had actually written the book, the guy or the lady was just like, that's just, you're wrong. It means this, you know what I mean? Uh, so, hey, Wayne Beatty, what's up? Tripwire, what's up? So, and for those of you just showing up, I had a conversation with a guy recently about, he was telling me this story. Raziel, what's up? About an author who went back to school and took a class on the book she had written, and she failed the class because whatever, uh, because they claimed that she didn't understand what the author meant by the writing, and this was right up my alley. You know what I mean? I ate that shit up. I was talking to him about it, and we were talking about the education system and how shitty it was and everything. And I was going to use that story as the subject for my, to start this conversation today. But I got back and did a little research on it, looking for some details and stuff. And it turns out the story's just bullshit. It never happened. Didn't happen. The guy was telling me as if it was a fact. You know what I mean? Like it happened. But it's just one of those online stories that got propagated. Some dipshit made it up, just for clicks or whatever. Thought it come up with the idea and thought it was a funny story or whatever, and just made the shit up, and then people make it go viral, and it's all just completely bullshit, just made up. So that is the focus of of what I'm going to begin the show on today, because a lot of this shit is just spread around and nobody takes the time to look the shit up to verify it to see if it's real or bullshit or whatever. I mean, if I hadn't taken whatever it took me about 2 to 3 minutes to verify whether or not it was bullshit, I would have jumped on here and spread those lies and I intended to. I was going to talk about it as if it was a fact. Of course I was going to research it, but until I found out that it was bullshit, I was going to do that. Yeah, started when Chaplin got second in the Chaplin look-like contest. Yeah, I've heard that one before too, Tripwire. Yeah, but that just goes to show you how bullshit will spread. It sounds good, and in this instant, it was right up my alley. We were talking shit about the education system and how horrible it is and everything, which it still is. I don't want to take away from that. Our education system in the United States is just dog shit. Our federal government has destroyed it. But because it was in that vein, I ate it up. You know what I mean? When I was sitting there talking to the guy, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I'll just go, make the whole time he's talking, I'm thinking in my head, oh yeah, this is going to make a great video. I'll be able to, talk about this on Gen X Thinks and stuff. And I got back and nope, It's bullshit. Shannon, what's up, Shannon? Good morning. Yeah, clickbait story, Wayne. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we see that shit all the time now. You just can't believe damn near anything anymore. You've got to do a little bit of research, on your own. If you're really interested, especially if you plan on repeating that shit, and if you give a shit about the truth, if you just don't care, if you just you think it's funny or whatever to spread bullshit, then hell, more power to you. Uh, but if you're actually interested in in just telling the truth, making sure what comes out of your mouth and the things you tell other people are actually true, then we need to take a few minutes and research this shit. And it doesn't take long. I'm telling you, I found out that story was bullshit in all of about 90 seconds. It took me maybe 2 minutes at the most. Yeah, it didn't take me long. Big country, what's up, big country? We just smoked Venezuela and captured Maduro. Is Venezuela a new strain of weed, dude? Maduro. I don't know what Maduro is. I figure, what is Maduro? A Venezuelan general or something, big country? I work so much, dude. I don't have, I don't really have time to keep up with all that shit, dude. So we smoked Venezuela. What do you mean by smoked them, big country? Did we just carpet bombed Venezuela or what? Jeff 7, what's up? Flashing it. Good morning, flashing it. Yeah, y'all do need to catch me up on current events. Yeah, I gotta. Oh, he's their president. We captured their president. No shit. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I got to start doing my no good news is good news episodes again. Yeah. Well, if and I say it like this, if, because just like I was just talking about, I don't know what is bullshit and what is not. I really don't. What's propaganda? What's just straight up bullshit that somebody made up? I don't know. Bucky, what's up? Good morning, Bucky. Um, if Venezuela has been, sending metric tons of drugs into our country and shit, then we needed to do something about it. And you know, we've lost millions and millions of lives to the drug economy, these cartels and shit down there. In my opinion, that shit should have been done decades ago. Instead of locking up all these people, all these addicts and shit up here in America, we should have been kicking ass in the countries that are sending that shit here. You know what I mean? Space Cowboy, what's up, Space Cowboy? Liberation Day in Venezuela. All right. Yeah, and I'm gonna have to look that shit up after the show now. You're not the greatest at keeping up with the news either, Shannon. Yeah, most of that. I mean, you could sit there and look at that shit for weeks on end, and it's nothing but bullshit. I mean, just it's hard to watch most of the time. And then something like this will pop up, and you're like, then you feel like a social leper that you have no idea that we invaded Venezuela. You know. Uh, but when I was doing that no news is good news, it actually gave me a reason to look for something that was happening. So I might start doing that again. Alan, what's up? Western Australia. Hey, good to see you, Alan. Glad you can make it, buddy. But yeah, and I think every country in Western civilization should do the same. Start defending themselves. You know what I mean? All of us deserve to have our own country, to have our own um, freedoms, our own autonomy. For other people, does I don't know if China has this huge problem with the United States trafficking illegal drugs into their country. I have no idea. I would guess no, that we don't traffic, metric tons of heroin and cocaine into China. I just a guess, but I don't know. But these other countries around the world, I do not believe that they have to worry about America trafficking illegal drugs into their country. You know what I mean? And killing off portion of their population with illegal fentanyl and shit. I don't think they have to worry about that from us. Yeah, they've got to worry about us going over there and psyoping them and overthrowing their government and shit. Yeah, but they should handle that shit. They should take steps to prevent that shit. Just like we should take steps to prevent all these boatloads of fentanyl coming into our damn country. And so should Australia, in my opinion, New Zealand, Norway. We don't want that shit in our country. Especially when you think about it, that it's not just party animals and shit who are dying from this stuff. It's hardworking people who get addicted to it because they get injured or because they have some medical condition, Crohn's disease or whatever, that's chronic pain, and they're taking prescribed medications and end up addicted to opioids. So it's just not cool. Ezekiel, what's up, Ezekiel? Now I got to find out. I'm interested to know how we smoked Venezuela. Big country. I got to find out the details on that. Did we move in there with infantry special forces or something? You know what I mean? Did the Navy SEALs go in that bitch, or did we just carpet bomb them, or did the 101st Airborne parachute in there? What the hell's going on? Snuffleupagus? Oh yeah. Lake, what's up? Straight out of Norway. Just another guy in the woods. Yeah, it normally is. Just another guy in the woods. Yeah, it normally is oil uh but oil and heroin, opioids played a big part in the deal with Afghanistan. They grow a lot of poppy in Afghanistan too. And from what I understand, they had U.S. troops over there guarding poppy fields. Now, whether that could be made up bullshit, I don't know. Yeah, but there's always multiple. It's never just a straight up factual account of what's going on. We never get that. There's always shades of gray and multiple reasons why. You know what I mean? Oil or stock market or whatever. You know. Um, yeah, it would not surprise me at all if there was something else involved in it. And the fentanyl thing is just a, if not a cover up, just a reason to show the public. That would not surprise me at all. Oh, okay, Raziel, yeah. Well, how are you feeling now, man? You back to 100% yet, Roz? Yeah, a bit bigger than firing a second Hellfire into a boat. Yeah. Yeah, Trip, just a bit. Yeah. But DC, carpet bomb in your living room. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I just we've fought so many wars overseas and spent trillions of dollars on other people's wars that I just really have a tough time finding fault with, you know, with something an aggressive military action that actually is in the interest of the United States. It's really tough for me. You know what I mean? If we're going to do something like that, do it for the United States or one of our very close allies, not these damn other countries who want us to die. You know what I mean? They literally want us dead, and we're over there sending them billions of dollars and fighting wars for them and shit. It just blows my mind, you know? Oh, okay, big country. Hell yeah, support the troops, dude. Oh, all right. Non-invasive surgery on the 8th. Okay, Razio. Well, glad to hear it, dude. Yeah, when I was single, my house looked rough, you know, when I was healthy. I didn't have to be sick for my house to start looking rough. Yeah. Now that I've been married and, you know, my wife uh, keeps me in line, you know, as far as that goes. Don't let clothes pile up and stuff, you know. I wouldn't say I was unclean, but just disorganized and disorderly, you know, not unsanitary, just disorganized. But now, after living with my wife for several, you know, well, a decade now, we've been married for 10 years now. Oh, well, this will be the 11th year. Well, our 11th anniversary is coming up this year. But anyway, I couldn't go back to that, even if, you know, even if she wised up and realized what's going on and divorced me. I couldn't go back to living messy after, you know, after living in a nice clean house all the time. I couldn't go back to the bachelor messy shit. I'd have to clean that shit up. It'd drive me nuts now. Don't tell her though. She'll expect me to clean more. Rusty Doob, straight out of Canada. What's up, Rusty? Glad to see you here, man. Yeah. Stay curious. What's up? Glad to see you. Stay curious. Welcome to the show, Saturday morning early birds. Um, but yeah, this whole thing with with the Venezuela deal, right? The the problem I have with this kind of stuff is that we don't know. You know what I mean? We just don't know. Um, it the reasons why we went in there. Not, you know, 100% true. Is it 100% true that that we they were trafficking fentanyl up here and that was it? So we invaded a country because they won't stop trafficking illegal drugs into our country. Now, if that is 100% true, then I support it wholeheartedly. But I just don't know. I have such a deep distrust of government and media and shit that I just can't, in good conscience, swallow the story hook, line, and sinker. You know what I mean? I've got doubts. You know, I'll accept the mainstream story. You know, and for the time being, you know, because I want to. A lot of y'all weren't here for the beginning, but this is right up my alley. This is another story that's right up my alley. Yeah, you know, defend America, you know, defend Western civilization. This, you know, kick some drug dealing commie ass. You know what I mean? That's right up my alley. I'm a veteran. Where's my? No, I'm a veteran. You know, I signed up to do that shit. I signed up when I was 19. I signed up to go into Venezuela and take that son of a bitch hostage, and take him hostage. Yeah, prisoner, whatever. So yeah, this kind of story is right up my alley. So, and those are the stories that I gotta force myself to hit the brakes and question. You know what I mean? I can't just fall off the cliff, hook, line, and sinker. Swallow that story and say, I've got to, for my own conscience, I've got to doubt at least a little bit and say, okay, maybe we're not getting the full story here. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I support our troops and I support this action. If the mainstream story is true, then yeah, I support it 100%. If the mainstream story is not true completely, then I support it to varying degrees, but I still support it. I'll be honest with you, I still support that shit. Your desk is a wreck, Jeff. Oh yeah. I'd have to have a vacuum on the second floor too, Shannon. Yeah, I wouldn't be dragging that thing up and down. Mine'd break because I'd be dragging it. Clunk, 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 clunk. Yeah, yeah. Mine'd be a pile of plastic in a week. Oh, big country, no problem. Yeah. No, you're one of the ones that when I say, if you're watching on TV and don't get in the comments very often or whatever, that you're one of the ones I'm saying goodbye to. I know you're out there, big country, so I appreciate it. Thank you, man. And thanks for jumping in here and letting us know. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be talking about spotless cleaning and shit, Raziel, when I said that before about, not going back to the bachelor way. I'm just saying, I throw my clothes in a laundry hamper, not on the floor. You know what I mean? I'd be neater, more organized. I wouldn't go through scouring, scrubbing shit. And, no, I wouldn't do that still. And when I was a bachelor, I used paper plates and stuff. I don't do dishes. I just throw that shit in the garbage. You know what I mean? I use paper plates and all that. I didn't have regular dishes, hard dishes, because I didn't want to wash them. So I didn't get any. Regime change. Yeah, yeah, big country. Yeah, it's regime change. Yeah, but is it is it regime change because of the fentanyl, and we want somebody in there who's not going to be, who's going to actually combat those drug cartels in their country, or is it regime change for something else? You know what I mean? I don't really. I'm not a big fan of regime change because that shit. Uh, I don't know. I just don't like it. It just doesn't sit well with me going in there. They do regime changes in sneaky ways. The CIA and shit will go in there and stir shit up and propagandize the population. I just don't like that shit. Yeah. Bucky looking the other way, too evil might be all right if a country had secure borders. Yeah. Dolby, what's up, Dolby? Yeah, oh yeah. Reagan's quote on the government, Dolby, is the best. Yep. The scariest words in the English language, something to that effect. We're from the government and we're here to help. Yeah. Okay, Oliver. You saw helicopters dropping shit. Oh, okay, Ezekiel. Not so bad anymore. Yeah, that's the thing, big country. And well, that's part of the reason I don't support shit just violence and military actions for all these crazy reasons, and our boys and girls are in harm's way. You don't put them in harm's way for some other damn country's whatever, you know what I mean, or some billionaire's assets or some stupid shit like that. You put them in harm's way to protect our freedoms, to protect Americans, because that's what they signed up for, you know. um So yeah, I've got a problem with that when they put the younger people, these young men and women, in harm's way for bullshit reasons, regime changes, and all this bullshit, right? Lorna Michaels, what's up, Lorna? Glad to see you here. Oh, you're welcome, Lorna. Yeah, let's hope and pray that the servicemen and women out there today make it home safe. I know it's probably a necessary thing that they're doing, but we can still hope and pray that they get home safe back to their families. You know what I mean? Okay, big country, yeah. All right. Yeah, I really hope that the mainstream story that we're hearing is the truth. I really do. I wouldn't make a wall of cardboard and toss beer cans at the center of the room. No, no, I wouldn't do that anymore. Yeah. What, Bucky's got one fork, one spoon, one cup, and one plate, and one bowl, and one pan. He's loving it, he says. All right, Bucky. Oh, okay. No beer for the past 3 weeks. Oh, damn, yeah. Yeah, cardboard piles up, doesn't it? Nowadays, we didn't have big piles of cardboard boxes back, when we were kids, did we? Now we get these huge piles of cardboard boxes we have to burn or do something else with. Mangrove, what's up? Glad to see you here, Mangrove. Yeah, we need to. Oh man, yeah, Mangrove, I'm right on board with you there. We need to stop giving money to any country. Period. All the money for Americans, the United States, veterans, infrastructure, homelessness, and job support. Yes, double yes. Yeah, I'm all. Yeah, I'm all about that, Mangrove. Yeah, if they can, dude. If look at all the what's that shit called? Anyway, all the money they stole there in Minnesota or Minneapolis, wherever. The Somalis, fraud, and all that shit, billions and billions of dollars. And that's just a drop in the bucket. That's just a drop in the bucket. Okay. So we've got trillions of dollars of fraud and theft, and then we're sending trillions of dollars overseas. Now, if they stop that, honestly, think about this. If they stopped all that, stopped all the fraud, stopped all the giving money away to other countries. Now we're going in debt to do that. It's not like we're just overflowing. We're the you know we're the cornucopia of the world. We're just shitting resources. No, we're going into debt, massive, unimaginable debt. All right. So just imagine if we stopped all that stuff. What do you think our tax rate would be if they only taxed us for what was necessary? If they stopped all the fraud, the theft, the foreign aid, and all this other shit, what do you think? What do you think our tax rate would be to just keep our country functioning, good welfare system, good health care, good everything, just solid, good, not great, just solid and good for American citizens. What do you think our tax rate would be? 5%, 2, maybe 3, somewhere in there? What we would need to actually support ourselves, support each other, and have a good, strong country, a good, healthy country. Yeah, it's disgusting when you think about that. We're being robbed and they're just throwing the money away, throwing it away. They're not even spending it on anything useful, just pissing it away, giving it to illegal immigrants, giving it to, other people's foreign altercations and shit, whatever. Like, I give two shits what two little countries are doing on the other side of the planet. If they want to rip each other to dog shit, let them go ahead and do it. Why would we spend 10 cents on it? Honestly, they wouldn't do it for us. If me and Rusty Doob started a war between Canada and America, nobody else in the world would come over here and help us. Nobody would be sending us trillions of dollars. You know what I mean? Nobody'd be sending me tanks to invade Rusty's Rusty's homeland. You know what I mean? They'd all be like, whatever. Nobody be, protesting in their colleges. I stand with Canada, pro America. They wouldn't be doing that shit over there. They wouldn't give two shits. It's us with that shit, and it pisses me off. Oh, your dad's in the Marines? Okay. Well, tell him thank you for his service next time you talk to him, Lorna. Yeah. Yeah, Chicago gets a pass. Yeah. Oh, into your raised bed gardens. That's a good idea, Jeff. Yeah. 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 They're damn sure taking a cut whenever they send money overseas. They're taking their cut, Bucky. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, Trip. Yeah, exactly. I had no problems defending my country. Even back then when I was, I guess, brainwashed or whatever into thinking I would be going overseas to, you know, to defend freedom and defend my country and all that shit, defend democracy. Uh, it was bullshit back then when I was in there. But yeah, I now knowing what I know and having my eyes opened more. Uh, no, I wouldn't. No. Now, if it changed for 10 years, 20 years, and we got back to we were just doing what was in the best interest for Western civilization, then yeah, I would join up again in a heartbeat. Yeah, if we weren't being sent over to the desert and all these different places and sending all this money to other countries and all this bullshit, if all that stopped, yeah, I would join again in a heartbeat. Yeah. Yeah, Wayne, if all the money spent on the war machine was transferred to the people. Yep. Yeah, Oliver, can't let it go. Yeah. Brad Davis, what's up? Is no nation liar? What do you is no nation liar? Every nation is lies. Every government lies to their people. Guaranteed. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. They'll raise your taxes, but if they started doing the right thing, our taxes would be lower. I mean, just it's just a fact, you know. I wouldn't if they raise my taxes. I could not make myself believe that the money was being used to better America. You know what I mean? I couldn't make myself believe it. There's so much waste and fraud that I just know for a fact there's no reason to raise it. All they have to do is eliminate all the waste and fraud, and they could make America the greatest country on the planet in 5, 10 years with all of the money that we have pumped into waste and fraud and foreign wars and interfering with foreign elections and all this bullshit. Yeah. Got a compost heap full of them, Jeff. Yeah. Honestly a good thing. I've got one of those compost barrels, that you spin. Yeah. Your dad passed away in Chicago. Oh, okay, Lorna. My condolences. Yeah, as a soldier, we didn't have to question the orders. Yeah, yeah, with more free then. Yeah, true, Trip. Oh yeah, yeah, Shannon, that'd be tough. But using the dyed cardboard as compost, yeah, that'd be questionable there. And you're right. There's just ungodly amounts of it now. Holy smoke! It'd take, your composter couldn't compost it fast enough. Yeah, Raziel, our close allies, and that's the only countries that we should be militarily defending. If somebody invaded Australia, a big country invaded Australia, yeah, we roll over there and help them. So should England and France and everybody else. You know what I mean? All of Australia's allies should kick in just like during World War II. Everybody chipped in and did the right thing. That's how it should work. But just you know, two countries that you can't even pronounce are going squabbling over there. So you're gonna send troops over there and shit and drop, what, 25, $30 million each for a bomb, start dropping just, and then all the other crazy shit like Obama left a pallet of cash there for Iran and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, ashes make good fertilizer too. Yeah, Raziel. Yeah, that's I've heard about that adrenochrome before, Brad. A little bit. I haven't done any kind of deep dive into it, but I'm uh, pretty familiar with it. I've watched documentaries and different things a couple different times. JPC, what's up, JP? Glad to see you here. Okay, I'm on the border about that. Stay curious. Uh, you know, mandatory service, 2 years. I think it would be a good thing. You know, but then that's kind of anti-freedom to force someone to do something. I think that younger people would benefit from it, definitely. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're making someone do something that doesn't sit well with me. But yeah, some of my best memories were in the army too. Oh yeah, yeah, Lorna. Yeah, a drive-in movie and old school movies from the 1930s to 2013. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Really. Yeah, if they are attacked, well, it depends on who they are, Wayne, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on who they are. Um, because you've got to protect yourself first and the people, your people first, right? If, okay, let's just say, um, my I see some people attacking somebody else, and I just run over there and I start batting heads around, yank out my baseball bat and go defending that guy or whatever. Now I have to pay the consequences for my actions. Now my children might not eat. I might go to jail. My children, what's going to happen to my family? There are other consequences for the people that you're actually responsible for. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a bad thing going down. But that just because a bad thing's going down doesn't mean that you must uh, go help. Now, I'm not saying don't go help all the time, but you have to weigh the pluses and minuses, right? You don't go to jail and leave your family to be evicted and to go hungry and shit when that guy might, on the ground getting his ass kicked, might be a child molester and deserve the hell out of it. Or some other reason he might deserve it, he might deserve to get his ass kicked. So you going over there and defending him wasn't a real great idea. You know what I'm saying? Now just bump that up to the national level. Okay, we've got people dying here in the streets of the United States. We got people that don't have health care. Our education system is a shit show. All this stuff is going wrong, and we're spending billions of dollars because two countries over there wanted to start squabbling. When we got people starving over here, we got people addicted to drugs over here. Clean up your own house first, I say. This is my motto. Clean up your own house first. Make sure that, and then you make sure that whatever's going on, you know what's going on over there. You don't just jump over there into it. And especially if you started it, if you kicked off the fight in the first place, which is what America is guilty of a lot of times. They instigate the shit just to go over there, just so they can go over there and get involved in it, so they can the military industrial complex can get their profits. And if you don't think that's happening, then uh, there's a nice damn uh, snow top snow chalet, a ski resort here in Florida. I'd like to show you. But yeah, so it just depends, Wayne, what the deal is. The circumstances and how if your family, if your responsibilities are taken care of and safe and provided for, then you can look around and say who else needs help. You know, who needs an ass whooping today. But until your own house, your own kids are sitting there hungry, and you're out there, spending your resources doing other stuff instead of taking care of your own kids. That's just wrong in my opinion. Yeah, the experience is lost these days. Yeah, stay curious. Buy a small apartment building. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody needs to start buying up land instead of China and huge corporations. 63. What's up? 63 out of 65. All right. Okay. Born in 65. 63. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. You got to love that. Glad to see you here, 63. Glad you could make it. Yeah. They don't have that currently. Yeah. Um, a good solid base to grow on. Yeah, Trip. Yeah, it would be good for them. And if the United States decided to implement that, it would depend. Some countries aren't all involved in overseas bullshit, and I wouldn't want uh, people to have to. If we just took care of the interests of the United States and defended the United States, then yeah, I would be 100% in favor of it. But we don't do that. Our government sucks. So they'd be forced to go over there and fight. It wouldn't be a volunteer thing. They'd be forced to go over there and get embroiled in all this weird shit that the government is doing. 60 years old? Did you just turn 60? Or are you about to turn 60, 63? That'd be badass if you like born on January 1st. Were you born on, were you? You just had a birthday? Turned 60? 68 Mangrove? Yeah, Day of the Rope. Tim Beck, what's up, dude? Glad to see you here, man. Wheat and tar? Tear? Tar. Is that what you mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I believe that. Lorna. Yeah, I think they are compromised. A lot of them, not all of them. 'Em. Oh yeah, Dolby. I've heard a lot of stuff about your boy Starmer over there. 1970, Lorna. I was born in 71. 79, Roz. Oh yeah. Yeah, Bucky, without some major cleaning at the very, very elite top, can anything change? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. You can, country per country, you could. We did it in 1776. You know what I mean? But that was a special thing. We had moved away and started our own thing, and but still, it was major battles. I mean, that the British redcoats were badasses back then, so it wasn't an easy thing. Feathers and tar, yeah, yeah, Roz. Okay, April '65. No, yeah, the U.S. hockey team. I remember that. I like that movie too. I think it's called The Miracle or Miracle. Nightbreed fashion. Yeah, Tim. Yeah. 69. Stay curious. All right, that's a good damn year. 69, dude. Yeah, that's a good damn year. Yeah, the bad aces in more ways than one. 63. Yeah. Yeah, Mangrove. There's no way. No, there's no way a politician should be in office for 15 or 20 years. That's ridiculous. 60 years is. I don't even know what. You know. I don't even know what the hell you call 60 years. Uh, that's just evil. It's fraud. It's theft. It's bullshit. 60 years is not. It's beyond ridiculous. Um, you know, a, Anybody retires after 20 years. That's a retirement age, your retirement time. You put in your 20 and you get out. So why the hell would you uh, do that? Why would you be allowed to spend 3 20-year terms in, damn that shit's so preposterous, dude. Uh, the stuff that needs to be done. I'm not allowed to talk about it on YouTube. What needs to be done, honestly, what I believe needs to be done. I can't say it, but I can. I'm not supposed to. My video, my channel would get yanked by YouTube. Y'all won't see me anymore if I actually said what I think needs to be done up there in Capitol Hill with the 60-year senators and shit been sitting up there for decades. Yeah, they pull me. Yeah, you would never hear my voice again. You'd have to go to Rumble or some shit. So yeah, that's why I keep my mouth shut about that kind of shit. Yeah, Miracle on Ice, Kurt Russell. Yeah, Lorna. Yep, I love that movie. It's a good one. Oh, okay, Ezekiel. Oh, really? Of COVID? Damn. Well, you have my condolences, Zeke. Yeah, if you remember the '60s, you weren't there. Catch, what's up, Catch? Glad to see you here, man. Glad you can make it. Yeah, top down, bottom up, Tim. Yeah, clean house. Yeah, Mangrove. That's what needs to be done. Clean house. Yep, yep. Yeah, talk about feeding an addiction. Just another guy in the woods. Yeah, me and Lake talked about that on a previous episode that they are, they're power addicts. They're addicted to that power, and they got to exercise that power by making up new laws and regulations, not to help the public, just to feed that power, that power addict inside them. So they'll just create more and more laws and more regulations and more bureaucracy. When you're up there, and they'll make these committees in Congress and shit. They'll make a committee just so I can be in charge of a committee. I'm a congressman. I want to form this new committee just so I can be in charge of a committee. Yeah, not to actually fix it. Oh yeah, there's something. They've got some words about what that committee is going to do, but that's not why it's there. It's just so I can be in charge of a committee because I voted yes on some shit that Microsoft wanted me to vote yes on, and they said that they would, pay off so and so, and he would name me as chairman of that committee. That's the kind of shit that goes down. Not because, okay, 10,000 people died in the streets of America of fentanyl overdose last month, so we need a committee. You know what I mean? We need to kick some ass. We need to do something. And then when they do form these committees, that's why these committees don't do anything ever. They never accomplish anything. They never fix anything. They're all just bullshit. It's just me getting to feed my power addict, my internal power addict. So I get to be, say I'm on a committee. You know what I mean? Predictive programming, Tim. Yeah, slow push. Yeah, good old boy shit up there. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly why it's been that way for a long time. There's a club and you're not in it. You're not in that club, and you will never be in that club. You will never be invited to be in that club. You know what I mean? You're never gonna you're never gonna be one of the people pulling the strings. We don't get to do that. We are we are pawns on a board, and some of the pawns get to say, get to look up and look around and say, hey, I'm a pawn on a board, but that doesn't change anything, right? Uh, the only thing, cleaning house is the only thing that'll change anything. You got to erase the board and start over from scratch. But then that kind of stuff, that's the stuff you talk about that then you start, where does that start? Should that even happen? Should we even entertain what's his name, Alex Jones with his 1776 shit again? Yeah, dead fish don't swim. Tim. Yeah. Yeah, corporate law is the club of Babel. Yeah, some shit like that. 63. Yeah, yeah. Common law is our club. Yep. Yeah, tripwire. Yeah, welcome to the army. If you don't drink or smoke, you soon will. Yeah. Yeah, but we can, Tim. We can have a voice. Yeah, if enough people stand up together at the same time, and that's the thing. Their entire plan is to pick away and keep us confused, but the only reason they're able to pick away at our freedoms and our money and our time and all this different shit, taking away our lives a little bit at a time, is because they keep us divided and confused. There's two ways to fix that: overcome the division and the confusion and come together, or they try to take too much at one time and force everyone to stand up together and say no, like what happened in 1776. You know what I mean? People got fed up and they all stood up together and said no. They weren't as divided as we are now, nowhere near, you know. But those are the only two ways that I see that any real change would happen. And it's got to be us or them that does it. You know, us by overcoming the division on our own, or by them overcoming the division by taking too much, getting too greedy and taking too much from us at one time and forcing everyone to stand together. Those are the only two ways I see it. I see it. If one of those two things doesn't happen, then we're just going to go down the whole of police state. Yeah, yeah, catch. Yeah, yeah, they get paid from the moment they leave home and return after their 2 hour meetings. Yeah, total bullshit. Yep. Oh, yeah, that was such a lot that happened to a lot of people, Lorna. They divided families and people died alone because of all that vaccination hysteria. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's been time for that for decades. 63, time for the return of uh, common court of law, a real court of law, a real justice system. It's been time for that for decades. Yeah, trashy enough to be in the political clique. Yeah, and that's another thing. To get in there and get really good in that political system, I honestly believe that you have to be a scumbag that they can blackmail and manipulate, with pictures of you doing something disgusting that they can blackmail you with or whatever, video, whatever. Um, so yeah, almost all of them have blackmail material hanging over their heads. Shotgun a rifle in a four-wheel drive. Hell yeah, dude. That's one of my favorite songs ever. They can't stomp us out and they can't make us run. 'Cause, 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 Yeah. 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 Eventually it will. It'll collapse. None of that. Have you ever seen? Look at the Soviet Union and all that shit. Um, that shit never lasts. It always collapses. But it's always hard on the population when it collapses. Yeah, they loot the money when it fails. Yeah, Tim Beck, you're right about that. 10 Grizz, what's up, 10 Grizz? Good morning. King's English Bible 63. Yeah, a collection of books. Yeah, a library. Yep. Yeah, Oliver. Yeah, I totally can see the whole doomsday prepping thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. I just I just gotta work too much to get too far into that. You lived in a police state in Singapore? I bet it was interesting, Wayne. Yeah. Yeah, we can politely ask them to vote term limits for themselves. Yeah, Bucky, that always works. They always do the right thing when we ask them to. Yeah, Mangrove. Yeah, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and they are endowed by their creator with inalienable rights, not not gifted rights by their government, not anything like that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay, Tim. You worked healthcare during COVID? Yeah. I bet, dude. Pat Benatar? Yeah, the world is a battlefield, Lorna. Drinking coffee, 10 Grizz? All right, Ezekiel. Be cool, buddy. Oh, it's about that time, too. It's 6 o'clock. Zombie, what's up? Glad to see you here, Zombie. I'm getting ready to go, though. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yeah, Mangrove. Yup. God bless all of you. Yeah. 63. Thanks for showing up, 63. I appreciate it. Oh, all right. Now, we had a pretty good talk this morning, Zombie. So I'm going to say goodbye to Lorna, Tim Beck, Zombie, 10 Grizz, Raziel, Wayne Beatty, Jeff 7, 63, Tripwire, Mangrove, Oliver Rust, Stay Curious, Ezekiel, Bucky, Dog Karma, Shannon. Who else we got here? Catch, Big Country, Brad Davis, Dolby was here, JPC. Did I say Oliver Rust already? Oh, Lake was here, just another guy in the woods. I think I said Mangrove already. All right, let's see here. All right, I believe I'm pretty close to getting everybody. If I didn't say your name, uh, I apologize. Or if you watch on TV and don't engage in the chat, um, goodbye to you as well. Joe P, there he is. Goodbye, Joe. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out with me. Um, I do sincerely appreciate your time and your contributions to the conversation. They mean a lot to me, seriously. So thank you very much. Tomorrow, our next episode is tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's a 2-hour episode, so we normally dig down into some pretty cool stuff, whether it be nostalgia and fun stuff, or scientific stuff, or paranormal shit. But it's always a good one on Sunday. So be sure to make it catch Sunday's episode. That's usually pretty damn good. So thanks everybody for dropping by, and I will see you tomorrow. And now for y'all's favorite part. I know you've been chomping at the bit to hear my spiel. Noya Dark Raven, what's up? Well, you can watch it again from the beginning, or you can just catch the next one. Noya, thank you for dropping by, though. Seriously, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And I know y'all been chomping at the bit to hear my spiel. That's y'all's favorite part. So without further ado, here we are. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, it's only $2.99 a month, and I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. But I really appreciate all the support from the members out there. This is the members banner here, and I really appreciate these people. They support the channel directly through memberships, and it helps out a lot, so thank you very much to all the members. If you're interested in Genex gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Genex things and Genex branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description too for any of you who are interested. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Genex things, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email is genxthings@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.